Hello guys, welcome to my blog. This is Vanessa Delich again. Don't forget to like, to share, and comment below if you like my video. Anyway, as you see on my back, I have here the tons of books that I am carrying to you. This is the tons of books. Okay, so this book are free shipping, no credit card to needed, no survey to fill up. So this is a Christian books, but there is one that are not from Christian. So this is most of them for encouragement, devotional, some of them, and some of them are true story of their lives. Christian that are really sold out to serve God. And I would like to clarify everyone that this book is not my own, meaning I am not the one who write of this book. There are each of one have an authors. So, and this is not a sponsor. You can order this online. So I would like to read to you some of this book. The title of this book, Look What God is Doing. True story of people around the world changed by the gospel by Dick Eastman. The stories here are true and truly thrilling. So this is the book by Dick Eastman. The title, Look What God is Doing. Okay? Look what God is doing. This is about evangelism that he's doing. Dick Eastman has circled the globe over 120 times in his role as the international president of Every Home for Christ. He is the author of numerous best-selling books including No Easy Road and The Hour That Changes the World. With more than 3 million copies in print, he and his wife, Dee, make their home in Colorado Springs, Colorado. So God has rolled up his sleeves, all the nation can see his holy muscled arm. Everyone from end of the earth to the other sees him at work, doing his salvation work. Isaiah chapter 52 verse 10. God is on the move globally and in truly remarkable ways. One ministry at the forefront of this extraordinary movement is Every Home for Christ, or ACH, a 70-year-old ministry committed to take the gospel to every home on earth. Filled with passionate focus, many thousands of ECH workers have personally visited over 1.8 billion homes in 260 nations, resulting in more than 170 million decisions and responses and the planting of 297,045 new churches. In Look What God is Doing, ECH President Dick Eastman documents Book of Acts like testimonies complete with signs and wonders and remarkable conversation that will convince the reader the global harvest is ready to explode. God is clearly on the move and beckoning you to get in on the action. So this is the book, Look What God is Doing by Dick Eastman. Next book is The Normal Christian Life by Watchman Nee. So, about the author, Watchman Nee became a Christian in mainland China in 1922 at the age of 17 and began writing in the same year. Throughout the nearly 30 years of his ministry, Watchman Nee was clearly manifested as a unique gift from the Lord to his body for his move in his age in 1952. He was imprisoned from his faith. He remained in prison until his death in 1972. His words remain an abundant source of spiritual revelations and supply to Christians throughout the world. So, there is no set formula for living in Christian life. There is no human practice that result in normal spiritual growth. The failures that many Christians experience in following the Lord testify of our need for something that is not fashioned according to His age. They testify of our needs for Christ Himself, particularly the resurrected and living Christ who indwell as believers. His life is the source of a normal Christian life. His life can be the source of our living. Over the last 50 years, the normal Christian life of Watchman Nee has helped hundreds of thousands of believers walk along a normal path of spiritual growth. His book speaks of the power of the Lord's precious blood and the effectiveness of His cross in bringing every believer into a daily living and enjoyment himself. So, the book, again, the title of the book, The Normal Christian Life by Watchman Nee. This is the true to life story of our brothers that's really sold out to serve God until death. So, the second book is about No Longer a Slum Bag, Bringing Hope to Children in Crisis by Kipi Yuhanan. Forward by Francis Chan. Sorry with that. So, this with no voice and suffering children of Asia tell their stories, and as you listen to them, you share their anguish and rejoice in their triumph. The whole world seems to stop as you look on. You girls stay here. I'm going to get something to drink. But after a few minutes, the train started moving again, and Mom still wasn't back. Our hearts were racing. The train kept going faster and faster. Where was Mom? Hope is growing in the hearts of those who never know such a thing existed. In this truly gripping narrative, Kipi Yuhanan shares their stories of lives transformed, of families learning to love, of entire communities flourishing with new life, witness as their next great wave of transformation sweeps nations. So, Dr. Kipi Yuhanan, founder and international director of Gospel for Asia, has authored more than 200 books, including Revolution in World Mission, in international bestseller, more than 3 million copies in print. He is on the board of the National Religious Broadcaster or NRB, and his Road to Reality radio program airs on more than 900 stations worldwide. He and his wife, Gisela, have two grown children, Daniel and Sarah, who both serve the Lord with their families. So, again, the title of the book is No Longer a Slum Bag, Bringing Hope to Children in Crisis by Kipi Yuhanan. This is the book. Okay, the next book is, again, Kipi Yuhanan, One Man's Journey to Change the Generation, Revolution in World Mission. So, I will read to you again. Young Yohanan had no idea that those words of surrender would mean for his life and for millions of others in this generation. Once an insecure 16 years old, he became a missionary statement who had impacted the world missions and whose unbending message has touched hungry hearts on every continent. Step into his story and experience the world through his eyes. You walk right into the book of Acts, and through his telling, you hear the very heart of God beating for his creation. Kipi Yohanan, passion is contagious and spurs you on to be all for Jesus. He chose to take the road less traveled many years ago. And today, Gospel for Asia, the mission he founded, is one of the most respected organizations in our time, with thousands of national workers and vibrant congregations throughout the heart of the 1040 window. Get ready, your life is about to change. So, some of the people that recommend of this book, they have the message. This book stirred me on a way no book has ever done. By Pastor J.P., Oregon, USA. I started reading it and could not put it down. It was like part 2 of the book of Acts. Mr. G.W. Bertfordshire from UK. I'm currently reading Revolution in World Mission, and I am blown away by what I read. This book has helped immeasurably. Mr. D.M. Western Australia. So, Dr. Kipi Yohanan again is the founder and international director of Gospel for Asia. He is the author of more than 200 books and international known as speaker of missionary statement. He's read to reality radio program airs weekly on more than 900 stations, as I said earlier. The other book that she wrote is Revolution in the World Missions by Kipi Yohanan, One Man's Journey in Change of Generation. This is his book again, okay? So, the title of the book, Seven Deadly Sin by Stanford E. Morrell. Okay, as you see. So, the 6 things the Lord hates, yes, 7, are an abomination to him. A proud look, a lying tongue, hands that shed innocent blood, a heart that desires wicked plans, feet that are swift in running to evil, a false witness who speak lies, and one who sows discord among brethren. Proverbs chapter 6, verse 16 to 19. Stanford Morrell has a BA. It is about the author. And ME in history from FT Hayes, State University Hayes, Kansas, and did the doctorate from Trinity Theological Seminary. He is the author of several books, including The Church and History, Volume 1 and 2, A New Covenant in Christ, A Service of the New Testament. Stan has been a Christian school teacher, a Christian school administrator, and a pastor for more than 3 decades of public ministry. His ministry has been taken him to more than 12 foreign nations, and his writings have gone across the United States and throughout the world. So, this book again, the title is Seven Deadly Sin by Stanford E. Morrell. So, the other book is Oasis in the Desert. Life in the desert can be hard, barren, dry, even deadly through the centuries. Desert travelers have depended on knowing the location of the oasis of survival. This is the book. So, do you find yourself in a hard, barren, dry, empty, or even deadly place today? This book contains the stories of real people just like you who have found the oasis of life. So, this is the people. This is the book. I read this already. This is really good. Testimonies of the real Christians. So, the other book is World-Filled Women's Ministry, Loving and Serving the Church by Gloria Foreman and Kathleen B. Nelson editors. So, this is the book. As you can see, this is a women's ministry book, Bible-centered book. So I would like to read to you the back. A practical guide to Bible-centered ministry among women. Out of both biblical conviction and years of experience, these women think seriously about discipleship, evangelism, intergenerational mentoring, and compassion. Although this is a book by women to foster world-filled women's ministry, much of it will be read with equal profit by men. D.E. Carson, research professor of New Testament, Trinity Evangelical Divinity School. World Fit Women Ministry is a much-needed resource for both men and women to consider the necessity of ministry among women, as well as centrality of the word for cultivating a church in which women flourish. Melissa B. Kroger, Women's Ministry Coordinator, Uptown Church, author, The Envy of Abe. Here is the book of focuses on the possibilities and not just the problem ministry among women. Every chapter is grounded in scriptures and wonderfully practical women and men of the world. Read it and be encouraged by all the gospel's possibilities. Gloria Foreman is a wife, mother of 4 young children, Douala, and blogger living in Dubai, United Arab Emirates. She is the author of Glimpse of Grace, Treasuring Christ When Your Hands Are Full, and The Pastor's Wife, and blogs regularly at the Gospel Coalition and gloriaforman.com. Kathleen B. Nelson served as the Director of Women's Initiatives for the Gospel Coalition. She is a popular conference speaker and the author-editor of numerous books including Ruth and Esther, a 12-week study and co-editor with D.E. Carson of Her Is Our God. So again, do you see the book? This is the book by Gloria Foreman and Kathleen B. Nelson, World-Filled Women Ministry, Loving and Serving the Church. This is Bible-centered book. So the other book is A Wonderful Decision. A Wonderful Deception, a further New Age implication of the emerging purpose-driven movement by Warren B. Smith. So I will read to you again. 5 years after writing Deceived on Purpose, the New Age implication of the purpose-driven church, former New Age follower Warren B. Smith continues to reveal how Christian leaders wittingly or unwittingly are leading the church into a spiritual trap. A Wonderful Deception examines church metaphors, concepts, and beliefs that are essentially the same as those being used in today's New Age teaching. And while biblical prophecy is being minimized and explained away, the new science being used to prepare the world and the church to accept a new spirituality and a false New Age, Christ. This book explains how all the possible pieces are in place for that strong delusion described in 2 Thessalonians, A Wonderful Deception, persists right into the heart of this deception while preparing believers in Jesus Christ to effectively stand against it. So, I will read again to you some case areas addressed in this book. How a Broadway Christianity is deceiving many in the church. How the new science will try to prove that God is in everything. How Rick Warren continues to align himself with New Age sympathizers. How attempts have been made to discredit critics of the purpose-driven movement. How the best-selling novel The Shock fits into the Wonderful Deception. 10 scriptural reasons not to be connected with the purpose-driven movement. The New Age implication of Rick Warren's Daniel Plan. Warren B. Smith, B.E., University of Pennsylvania, MSW, Tulane University, a freelance writer and community social worker who was formerly involved in the New Age movement. He has served as a program coordinator for people with special needs, directed several homeless programs, and has worked as a hospice social worker in New Orleans and on the California coast. He has written extensively in the subject of spiritual deception and is spoken on the radio television at these seminars and conferences.